Welcome, students, as we prepare for another episode of DC Graduates. I'm one of your teachers, your doctor recommended docent nerdiness, aka your nerd of the day, Carlos Rodriguez. And as always, I am joined by my teacher in crime, Sly. How are you?
Doing great. I've put up so much more art
Yeah, I was gonna say.
recently, and it's all ahead of above my recording setup. But you can see, maybe, depending on where the border of this video is, the beginning of the foliage, which is covering the entire wall beside my bed, which was one of 5 panels of fake greenery that I have acquired. What am I gonna do with the rest of it? Zero clue.
I was like, it's
But
like Mariah Carey creeping in little by little because it looks like Christmas is like trying to take over. It was like inching through.
yeah, it's more like whimsical
Good.
theater kid set than Christmas. But yeah.
Now, did you acquire these items at IKEA? Because they have a lot of fake foliage that's really good looking.
No. I acquired these items from a garage sale from Reed Pop Expo, which is the people who put on PAX. And they were doing we want to get rid of our shit. And that was apparently used as like a backdrop for a like D&D panel or something at some point. And I wanted it for my wall, and then I realized just how much of it I had and how little wall space I had.
That is wild. I was like looking it up, like wait, they do garages, so they do it on site.
It was a like enforcer exclusive thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was pinging all of the people who work, hey, come take our shit.
And now, like, is there a price value to it or not? We get to pay.
I mean, yeah, it was like, I think I paid $40 for the total of all the shit, because Laura would just be like, that one, $5, that works. That one,
okay.
$5, that works.
For anybody out there that, I don't know if GameStop still does, fuck them anyway. They're not a great company to work for. There's a podcast that I've always been dreaming of doing, by the way. I had to put this out.
I've heard about this podcast so many times.
I've also confirmed that other people want to be in it. So like, I need like you know,
one of these years that'll happen.
Exactly. But you know how on our show for like everyone watching, there's like 2 boxes. It's like, it'll be like 16 boxes of us just airing our grievances. It's like Mike Tomjo, Kyle Stevenson, Mario, Frank, me, I think DJ Chris V over at Twitch. Like there's a bunch of us. But we had a system called pennying out, and I knew it lasted at least after me, because like Frank obviously younger than me, and they still did that. He has like so many collector's edition like things that got pennied out, so that's literally in the system. They got to get rid of this shit, and they'll price it at a penny for like people who work there. So he's like cutouts and shit like that. And it depends on where you work. You get some good penny out shit, or you get bad penny out shit. I got some decent stuff. I had some good strategy guys and stuff, and I think like Frank made out like gangbusters. He always does. He's very lucky with that. But
yeah, he's very good at swindling his way into situations where he gets cool shit, and I admire that about him. But we are not here to talk about free shit. Well, kind of, I guess. Actually, we're here to talk about the DC animated Tomorrowverse movie, Legion of Superheroes 2023. Wow, what a film.
You know what? It really was. This is my first time watching it. I'm assuming for both of us, like Tomorrowverse.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say. Yeah,
I've not touched the Tomorrowverse before this.
Crazy thing about this is I did not know this was a title until you put it on the docket. I was like, I don't remember seeing ads, nothing for this, and it's a goddamn shame.
Correct.
We'll get into it, but it's a goddamn shame. But this movie is directed by Jeff Wamster. I keep messing every week. It's written by Josie Campbell. Studio, as always, is WB Animation. It stars Meg Donnelly, Harry Shum Jr., continuing our Glee / DC related thing. Jensen Ackles, Darren Criss, Matt Bomer.
Tony Award winner, Harry freaking Potter, Darren Criss.
Yes. That's right.
Sorry, gotta get the full name in there.
Gideon Adlon, Robbie Damon, who's one of my favorite voice actors, Darren DePaul, Jennifer Hale with a slight
Making a
vocal cameras,
return.
yeah, and Yuri Lowenthal, which is a cool play. It's not a question for later, but Yuri voices Monel in this. Previously voiced Kal-El in Legions of the Superman was Superboy in the Legions of Superheroes from Kids WB, right? That was around the time the Batman was airing, I believe.
Something like that.
I think it's like 2 seasons. And what I saw at the time, and I was like really busy those Saturdays for some reason, I liked a lot. And we'll get into it in a little bit. So
also, most notably of Superman fame.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It's like, where can people find this movie?
Theoretically, you could have found it on Max at one point. It's no longer there. So it is out there on the internet in certain questionable sites that we may or may not utilize to make the show.
Support your library. Support physical media if you can. I don't have the space for physical media, so I'm definitely the one to hey, I'm buying shit digital if I need to, and if it gets torn away, I'm shit out. But yeah, there's
support your libraries.
Yeah, there's free ways to find this movie.
If your library has Hoopla, you have access to so many comics.
I wish, man.
For free.
I wish.
It's so great.
Yeah, I wish. Ours only in my area right now, in Delaware County, we only have actually I gotta sign up for my local library. I'm still tied to the Philly one, whatever, and my work one. So I happen to work at a university, so we have that library. The wait times for comics and stuff are so long, especially if it's manga. Right. Oh, God forbid. But I hear so many good things from you and other people about Hoopla. So like, hopefully, fingers crossed, that is the thing that I can do with at least my local library.
I may or may not be able to give you my library card login if you really want it.
That might work. That might work.
Oh no, utilizing our library more than normal.
Take that, Trump. Again, that one dude's gonna answer.
David Zaslav. Fuck Trump.
Donald Trump. Yeah.
Yeah.
People. Mainly Zaslav and Trump. Just mainly them.
RFK Jr.'s been,
he's the worst
of
the Kennedys, man. He's the worst of the Kennedys. And Chris Pratt's part of that family. Listen, that's what we're talking about.
I don't really have a lot of love for them in general, but he's certainly the worst of them.
Just saying, yeah. Sly, hit us the plot recap for this movie.
Well, speaking of the devastating state of the world, Kara, devastated by the loss of Krypton, struggles to adjust to her new life on Earth. Superman mentors her. That's a word for it. Yeah. Meanwhile, she must contend with a mysterious group called the Dark Circle, who searches for a powerful weapon held in the Academy's vault. That was the worst plot recap we've ever had.
Yeah.
What?
Which is so crazy because I'm very high on this movie. I'm trying not to like give too much away this early in the episode about how high I am on this movie. That is a horrible recap for how well this movie is. All right, hit us with those comic book characters.
Yeah, sure. Supergirl, obviously. Brainiac 5, Batman, very great appearance. Superman, The Flash, again, amazing. Phantom Girl, very fun. Timberwolf, Brainiac, the OG zombie head one. Arms Fall Off Boy / Man, Shadow Lass, Allura, Dawnstar, Bouncing Boy, Triplicate / Duplicate Girl, Cosmic Boy, Mon-El, that motherfucker, and Invisible Kid.
Yep. Yeah, we have such an eclectic cast of Legionnaires in this. It's really fun. They do like a really good like blend of, and they also play a little bit with the lore, which we'll talk about soon, but that like not all these people are straight up Legionnaires at the beginning. Like they're in an academy to become Legionnaires, which I thought was really cool. I do like that stuff. We could talk about that. We can start off with that now. So we're gonna move on to the Andrea Romano roundup as we shout out our voice director queen herself, Andrea Romano. And we're gonna start here. Cal's mentorship, in quotations, / abandonment of Kara throughout the iterations. Slack, go ahead.
A lot to unpack here. It just, every time we talk about Superman being a mentor to Supergirl, sometimes she's Superwoman, sometimes she's Power Girl. You get the point. Kara Zor-El. In so many iterations, what we see is not mentorship. This one, on the scale of like mentorship to straight up abandonment, it's closer to the mentorship than most iterations. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't really do much to help her, but he is like, well, I do know some cool folks in the, not so near future that I could just kind of ship her off to boarding school and she'll fit in fine. Again, on the better end of the mentorship, but most of the time, Kara shows up deeply traumatized, a 15-year-old child, and her only family / like only person who could like maybe understand what she's going through is like, I don't have time for this, and just like drops her off with this random family. Sometimes it's with the Kents,
which helps.
Sometimes it's with not. And it's like, peace out. I'm a like 20 to 30 something year old man, but I don't know what to do with this traumatized teenage girl. I'll be here if you need me. And then not really, show up for her in any meaningful way. But again, like, I feel like I'm being very harsh on Cal here. Sometimes he does a good job with the mentorship. This was one of, again, the better ones. I would say maybe, help her acclimate to Earth a little bit more. Not just kind of drop her in the middle of a busy shopping square. Immediately.
Yeah, and not explain how maps work or.
Yeah. Another big problem I have with their dynamic as a whole is the like the other one, Dick Grayson Robinifying of her, where it's like, here's this child, bam, like sidekick. And you're like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Why was your only option to resolving massive trauma putting them in a bright colored suit and having them fight crime? Maybe go to a therapist? At least one of them.
Yeah, Dinah is right there. Dinah's right there.
And she would be so happy to help.
That's the cool thing about when you do like more modern interpretations, right? I know DC is actually known for rebooting their universes so many times. We make fun of it all the time. But like throughout the years, like modernizing and restarting the universe and like kind of taking into consideration the time and period that they're restarting it. Like when you have the Silver Age books, it's almost okay how they write it. Like he is more of a mentor, he is more like a fatherly figure, like older brother figure. We don't touch upon in the Silver Age stories like, hey, I'm supposed to be, it's always like played as a joke, like, hey, I'm supposed to be taking care of you, not the other way around. Like, and now more modern interpretation, it is very much like, hey, no, I'm your sworn protector and we're that close of a family. I babysat you, I was holding you as a baby like a week ago, and now my world has crashed under me. I lost my father, my mother, I thought you died, I lost my aunt and my uncle, the rest of my planet, my friends, anything I had of a life, and now you're older. My only purpose that kept me going doesn't need me, and that is completely traumatizing. And like our last movie that we followed with a Kara, starting off storyline, he did just ship her off to Paradise Island, which arguably, because she couldn't fit into modern society, arguably, again, makes a little bit of sense, right? You could trust Diana. You'd be like, hey, Diana, can you help? Like you were before. Except we don't get these contexts, right? We don't have these conversations.
Right. We don't get the context. And like, in theory, yes, giving her a space with similar people that she can't do grievous injury to. But also like emotionally you're abandoning her, and like 5 minutes ago in her brain she just watched like the last city of her planet blow up in front of her. And then she lost her only purpose in life, which was protecting you. And instead of doing anything about that, you're just going to ship her off somewhere else so you don't have to deal with the emotional shit.
And not giving her any autonomy, right? To her actions, like
not letting her
confiding.
choose.
No, she has
Like
nothing.
in this movie, at least he gave her a choice.
Yeah, he presented her with like,
you can
listen,
go here. It's an option if you would like. I thought you would like this because the technology and the perception around individuals, it's much more similar to where you came. If you want to go here, you can. If not, no worries. You can go back and live.
I'll deal with Bruce. Don't worry about it. Yeah, and like Bruce will come around, but like this might help you get acclimated faster.
Bruce loves a traumatized child.
Yeah, I don't know why he's not up on this.
Playing.
It's because she's an alien. He has xenophobia. It's embedded in these
forgot
billionaires.
About the xenophobia.
Embedded in these billionaires.
No metas, no aliens. All
Clark's
right,
just pretty.
Whatever.
Clark's just pretty, so he's like, okay, this one can get by.
Clark's pretty, and Duke is the only competent member of that family.
Exactly. But when you look at like this story retold so many times, another one that you brought up was, I think it was probably the best ever done, whether it be Silver Age, Modern Age, like Golden Age of comics and things like that, is Kara Zor-El of Earth 2, Power Girl. Because it was clearly established that she is, like, they talk about a little bit of that and they kind of gloss over the fact that she, that was her purpose. But in more modern interpretations, looking back at that time, she comes to grip with it. It does hurt a little bit, but then she actually gets a new father figure and mother figure in an older, like much older Clark and Lois. And like she holds them in such high regard that it's extremely like devastating to her when they perish in the crisis event. And that's that trauma she deals with her.
Then she has like these parental figures to lean on, and she has these mentors in her life, and it's not just like she's just shipped off somewhere to be somebody else's problem.
That Clark and Lois like really help her acclimate to their Earth, really acclimate to being part of this world, and then that's all taken away from her. But those lessons that she learned help her adapt into Earth 1 or Earth 0, depending on where where we're in the canon, and be part of the normal DC universe that we see, and then kind of establish new relationships with her I don't want to call her doppelganger, but like her alternate reality version, and then like dealing with a Clark. Then she has like new trauma, right? Like, oh, this Clark is not like my dad, so this is weird. Like like we are more contemporaries and things like that. They did a really good job, I think, with Power Girl's version of this storyline.
100% agree.
And then we kind of talk about it a little with the Arrowverse, which we can kind of move on at, like we'll do a funny Arrowverse aside after this, but when we get to,
let's talk about the Arrowverse.
Exactly. When we get to Kara in this, like she is, I don't know, I got the impression that like Tyler Hoechlin was going to be like much older looking. I don't know, as Clark. You see, he's like, you guys are really much very like could be cousins kind of deal in this deal. Like, how much older are you supposed to be? Like, are you close to 40? How old is Kara?
I genuinely have no idea, because every time I see Tyler Hoechlin's.
Oh, Tyler Hoechlin. Yes. Tyler Hoechlin.
Okay. Sorry, because I keep getting confused between the two Tylers of Change Wolf, and one did the audiobook, and one of them is Superman. Hoechlin, again, the only face of his that comes to mind when I think of that man is like a season 2 Derek Hale.
Fair. Very fair. Also,
and he's just gonna be immortalized as that in my brain forever.
I just realized I am like older than that Superman, and only by months. So technically, in this I've talked about this on air before, like how much like the little bit I've seen with Superman and how important Superman is in my life, and how he always like follows me, and like the fact that there's a Superman show where he has 2 children like I do, and he's struggling to be a parent, and also Superman and all this other stuff. Like that speaks to me. did not realize that Superman really, so much so, like Smallville is my contemporary. Like we are the same age. It is weird. It is really weird, and like a little more endearing to that series. I can't wait to fully dive into that show. I just looked. I was like, wait, he's 38. How the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm 30. Like he's about to be 38 next week.
Speaking of the Arrowverse, I never finished it. And I did open up Netflix this past weekend, and I have been reading so much Supercourt fanfiction. And I was like, what if I just rewatch Supergirl? What if I did that? And then I opened it up, and it started on season 6, episode 1, which is the final season that I have never seen.
So this is also you're getting like Supergirl. That's like
maybe not
every girl, like or not every girl, but like her and what's her name are like know each other's secrets. Like there's no secrets between her and Lena. She gets a suit with the pants, which is a great, fucking great line.
I love the pants.
I love it too. Just her excitement too, like pants. Yeah, there's a lot.
I meant to watch season 1, and then I thought about it, and I was like, I don't really want to burden myself with remembering what the show was actually like.
Yeah, you gotta deal with Brody Jenner.
I'm just gonna continue to just live in my version of the Arrowverse show.
Absolutely,
and stick with that.
Oh well, this is funny because now you're bringing it up to move on from the Arrowverse and how that was set up. But I think it was set up pretty okay. Like, you know, it seems like that Clark was around more through like context clues and exposition throughout the series. That he was like around more for her teenage years, and then you know now she's an adult. Like he checks in on her, but like gives her space, lets her become her own hero. You have a question here, or you kind of joked about it in your notes, and I kind of wrote it here. So Arrowverse versus comic accurate. Brainy, which is the very nice nickname that Kara gives Brainiac 5 in this, and also is used in other media. Brainy and Nia, no, or Brainy and Kara Zor-El. Sly.
You know my answer.
I know it's Nia. I know it's Nia.
Brainy and Nia Null, of course. I love them.
It fits
so much. They're perfect. They're just so good for each other. And I love how they play off of each other and the ways they complement and contrast each other. And it's just so beautiful and amazing. And I love that the smartest being alive is attracted to trans people.
Hey, man. Hey, listen. Nicole Maines. Hubba hubba. You never know what about?
Yeah.
I see it.
You can get it.
Yeah.
Very hot. Very hot lady.
Very hot. Very hot lady, yes. Also, Jesse Rath. Jesse Rath is very attractive as well. He's a very good-looking gentleman. Also, I just realized he's 36. Wow, he really does not look his age. Like, him and Nicole Maines do look very contemporary in that series. Also, he's got blue makeup and shit, so that doesn't help. Or green makeup,
yeah.
But
I feel the same way about Grant Gustin. Every time I see his age, I'm like, that's not real. You're still in your Glee era age in my brain.
Shave that beard. That's weird. Why'd you paste that on your face? Yeah, this was funny because coming from the Arrowverse and being so enthralled and love the relationship that Mon-El and Kara have in that universe, and knowing in real life that Chris would, I do like it. It comes around at the end. I know. I like it. I like that Mon-El. He's a good Mon-El, as opposed to this one.
I love to hate him. He's a very hateable Mon-El.
he comes around. He's like a lovable idiot.
I disagree. I also read a lot of fan fiction where he is most specifically the villain, due to the nature of the pairing.
Fair, very fair. But yeah, seeing their chemistry and like how they built up that relationship in that series, I've come around. I'm like, I kind of like Kara and Mon-El, and then seeing how perfect Brainy and Nia are in that series and how it was reinterpreted and all this other stuff. I was like, wow, like they're a really perfect couple as well. I was like, what is going on here? Like you're changing my brain chemistry, because like it's so easy to see Kara going into the future, meeting up with the Legion. I'm like, oh, Brainiac 5 is going to be your love interest. Literally, when they cast Jesse Rath, I was like, oh, he's going to be the new love interest, because like that's what happens in the comic books. She falls in love with Brainiac 5, and it's like a Romeo Juliet thing, like that. No one like Superman's not upset by this. It's literally like Brainy's family and like her own self doubt. It's like almost like my big fat
Right.
Greek wedding, but it's like my big fat Kaluan wedding. That's what it is. It's like he's upset that he's a Brainiac and he's in love with a Kryptonian. Like that's where it comes from. And this kind of brought me back to it, and I was like, what? I like what's established here in this movie. I like it's very cute relationship between Meg Donnelly and Harry Shum Jr., especially when he starts
Very cute.
when he
Yeah.
breaks out of his like coldness, you know, like stops putting up the front that, you know, I'm a 12th level into like, and all of a sudden he just becomes like a weird, nerdy, like cute, like thing. It really works. And it started again changing my brain chemistry. I'm like, oh, why am I having such a hard time? It's like, well, because the Arrowverse, or the beautiful things they did in that, were these separate relationships for Kara and Brainy that were really, really well done. And now at this point, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's why
It's
you
canon.
changed it. Yeah, it's almost canon now. I'm like I'm having a hard time like coming around to it. I'm like, but Brainy and Nia work so well together. You know. What did you think of them in this? Because I love them. I love Harry
I
Shum's
loved
portrayal
them.
as Brainiac, and Meg Donnelly. We could talk about that in a little bit too. But their relationship I thought was really cute.
I know why they made it romantic and like the history in the comics and stuff. However, I thought this was like just so cute and precious, and them learning to like grow and like open up and like, I don't know, be friendly with each other. I think it worked really well as like more of a love story, but I also think it works really well as like a like older teen like friendship story
Yeah. Yeah.
in a way that like I think most romances don't do very well.
No.
And they really like emphasize the importance of being friends with the people you
Yes.
date.
Yeah. I noticed that as well. And I said this at one point. I was like, man, I was like, oh, the enemies of lovers is enemies to lovering. Like it's their combative relationship so early on, and like how much they annoy each other was so
Yeah.
cute. And I was like, oh man, they
It's
really
like
don't like each other. And then they started like warming up to each other. Like it was like, oh, I see
it's
it.
enemies to friends to lovers
Yeah.
in like the
Yeah.
best way. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I also like this
Very
for
good.
anyone who is a parent like myself and had to watch these movies, or is a fan of this series with Meg Donnelly. I said, if I had a nickel for every time Meg Donnelly was an alien in a movie and it ended up her kissing a green dude, I'd have 25 cents, which is surprisingly a lot. Because this is the 5th movie.
What else is it?
Zombies. There's 4 zombie movies where she's an alien. Spoilers for who have not watched Zombies 3 in that reveal. And she
I haven't watched any of Zombies. I was like just slightly too old when they
yeah.
started coming out. But that's like the Dove Cameron.
Oh, the Descendants kind of deal.
Was she not in that? Who was in Zombies?
Dove Cameron's not in Zombies.
Okay.
No. I believe she might be in the
It
Descendants.
was her era of Disney star.
Yes. Yeah.
Which again was just like slightly too old for me.
Yeah. It's
too
like
young.
Yeah, it's ever like you just missed that generation of fans. So there's like I think some like early teenagers now that like grew up with them, and then like my kids love them. Like Zoe loves them. I was gonna say we just bought it. I think she took it upstairs. She has a Meg Donnelly doll that she just got this weekend.
Nice.
So like she has like the character she plays Addison. But I was watching this. I'm like, well, she kisses a green dude. They're enemies of lovers, or like in Zombies, they're not like angry at each other, but like it's a Romeo Juliet story just with zombies and aliens. I was like, and I love the joke of like, if I had a nickel for every time this happened, it'd be 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's weird. It's like
we do
this
hate
happened
that
5.
man. But the meme is good.
Wait, what meme?
The guy who is anti-Semitic, and then when he was called out for being anti-Semitic, he decided to bully children on the internet, or teenagers, but same difference.
Well, let's talk over here because I have no talk about. Is it the guy who plays Zed? Like the love interest?
No, the guy who plays Doofenshmirtz.
Oh, Okay. I was like, what are you talking about?
We're completely different.
Oh, yes.
And to
Yeah.
answer your question, or answer my question of who in the Zombies movie did I know? It's Meg Donnelly. She just has the same face.
Yes, and she has white hair. And Duff Cameron has like white hair in a lot of media, like that weird in Disney stuff and stuff. She's always like white hair for some reason.
Cool.
Or
Great.
she voices Gwen, the Spider Gwen, and like some. So you think white, and you think Duff Cameron, like, yeah. No, it is Meg Donnelly, unfortunately.
Whoops. Sorry, Meg Donnelly. I was not familiar with your game.
But I was like, it's so weird. Like I was watching the movie and I started typing it, and my friend looks over at my notes and she starts cracking up. She's like, what are the movies? And I said, I was like, again, there's 4 zombie movies. She's like, oh yeah.
Zombies
She's like, wait.
1 through 4.
Yeah. And she's like, wait, who's green? She's like, oh, the zombie's green. I'm like, yeah, the zombie's green that she kisses, that she's in a relationship with. And I was like, and now it's Brainy who's green. I'm like, what the fuck is the luck that like this? She's like pigeonholed in a weird way. This is her
Can
career.
only be romantically linked with boys in green.
Yeah, that's it. She's like, oh, she has to be a capable like woman, really smart, really funny, charming, and then fall in love with somebody who's green. Like that's how it works. If not, she's a ditzy teenager that wears like skin tight clothes for some reason and an ABC comedy. Like there's no in between. There's no in between. Or I'm sorry, she's
the pigeonholes. That's not a bad one to be in.
Or she's Mary Winchester. Sam and Dean's mom.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, she's also that. So Meg Donnelly's like,
how old is this lady?
Dude, she's young too. She's crazy young. She just happens to get all this random ass work. She's 25.
Child. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She's 25 and has gotten all this work. All this work. And she's killing it, like with all this work.
Booked and blessed. Love that for you.
Yeah, exactly. But to go to the little Meg Donnelly and that little joke and everything. And any you want to touch upon their relationship, anything else, or we both agree, super cute. We love it.
Oh, no, it's great. Love it.
A highlight of the movie for me. But I want to go to the next section here, which I wrote, and it was an interesting idea that was posed to me in my head when I was watching the movie. It was like, Meg Donnelly, what could have been in live action? Because famously, she was the runner-up for Supergirl in James Gunn's universe, and she played Supergirl in this. There's a lot of weird overlap with this universe, the Tomorrowverse, and the actors they pick, and some who have transitioned over to James Gunn's like DC universe now, whether it be live action or animated. And at the same time, in a weird way, people have been in the conversation. So now, for context here, and I happened to watch this movie on a day where I was like in a TikTok rabbit hole, like I always do. And I was going through, and I found an interview. I forget who the podcaster is. He's very famous, and he had Scott Porter on, and he brought up the rumors that were like, hey, were you up for Captain America at the time right before First Avenger? And he's like, yes, I was. And it's like, so he's like, when you hear people talk about that in the trades, everyone's like, oh, it's a rumor, dispel it, like don't even talk. Like, no, that person wasn't up. That's just somebody. No, the person is up. If there's enough smoke in those like columns and those trades and like variety and things like that person's really up for that role. So Scott Porter was really up for that role. Jensen Ackles was really up for Captain America. You know, what's the name was also up for that role. There was a couple. John Krasinski was up for that role as well, and then it just ended up going to Chris Evans. So if that's the case, now we know she's never commented on it, but Meg Donnelly was up for the role of Kara Zor-El for Supergirl. Well, now it's just titled Supergirl, but Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is our next DC film. We've just met Supergirl in the universe, played amazingly in James Gunn's Superman. And we know now that, I guess with Scott Porter's talk, right, you get an idea of like, again, if there's smoke, there's fire there. Jensen Ackles has constantly been named for Batman in this universe, in James Gunn's universe. And it's always been talked, hey, him or Alan Richardson. They have both denied it. That they're like, oh, we have a screen test. Yes, yeah,
Right.
they have to. They're trying to keep it as quiet as it is, but it seems again where there's smoke, there's fire. It's just weird that like
Can I
this
do a
movie.
quick tangent?
Oh, please, yeah,
Speaking of Batman, now that I have inundated you with super bat edits,
yeah.
what are your feelings on Battinson and the current Superman?
All the stuff you're sending me is wonderful.
Uh-huh.
It fits in the
Uh-huh.
universe, and I want it.
Uh-huh.
Like I want now.
Uh-huh.
I went from like I don't know if Robert Pattinson's Batman
Wow.
would work in this universe, and then I went to like Mario sent me some stuff as well. My friend Brianna sent me some stuff, and I was like, there are varied levels of gayness to it, which I love, but like it's just levels of queerness to like the edits there, like
Uh-huh.
all perfect and all around. But I'm coming around to it, and to the point where I'm like, everyone's like, I don't think Robert Pattinson can fit. I'm like, no, I think he can because you watch these edits, like,
I think you can fit. I don't
yeah,
think that's the direction they're gonna go.
no, but it could work. Oh,
Good
yeah.
combination of actors. I think they would play off of each other really well.
Oh,
And
I
I
agree.
think it would really depend on the writing,
Yeah.
how well it
And
works.
that's the other thing too, because you have to retroactively do a lot of heavy lifting to get that Batman into the universe. But it could
Yeah.
fit that like that Gotham is that bad, that seedy, that gross. And you can also fast forward, right? The
Yeah.
Matt Reeves Batman movies are the ones where we're seeing him year one, year two, year three, year four as Batman. And then when we see him in the universe, he's more established. Maybe he looks clean cut. He doesn't look so tired all the time. Um, he's gonna have a Damien to
Slightly
like,
more rested.
yeah. So that could be like a Bruce that we see throughout the pardon me. Thank you. And that could be something where we see like play off two different like timelines, right? Where we see him younger
Mhm.
in Matt Reeves storyline and the Penguin and all that stuff, and then we see him more established, like elder statesman, where he's at now over here in the DC universe. I think it'd be really
Mhm.
interesting. But going back to the all the talks about like people who tried out Jensen possibly being Batman and denying it, Meg never coming out straight up saying that she was up for the role, but again we had the Scott Porter interview saying like when there's smoke there's fire. And Frank Grillo is in our next movie, who now is our Rick Flag Sr. in Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, and Superman. Like, I wonder, was James Gunn looking at the people DC was hiring at this time? Because he's not, either he's finalizing his deal with DC at this moment, or he's getting close to finalizing that deal. And is he just looking at the casting department like, yo, actually, you guys got like a lot of decent people cast for these people. Let's try them out. And then
Mhm.
the other thing that I was thinking about while watching the film is like Meg Donnelly, and I said this throughout my notes, is absolutely wonderful as Kara Zor in this.
Just so well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is like the epitome of what I think of Supergirl alongside Melissa Benoist. And I think she works really with the optimism that comes from her. She plays the sadness off really well. The teenage angst that comes with it. Her preconceived notions, like when she sees Brainiac 5 and automatically starts attacking him and all this other stuff. The humor that's there, she's so perfect for this role. But the only issue I'm having with thinking about this is with I'm trying to think of the actress who got cast as Supergirl in the
She's so lovely, and I
Millie
never
Alcock.
remember her
Millie
name.
Alcock, yeah. Millie Alcock is great. Is she again? If you were to give her the direction of, hey, I want you to play the quintessential Kara Zor-El, the one that's similar to Clark, hope, optimism, all
Mhm.
this other stuff, with a tinge of like, sadness there, she could do it. But
Mhm.
seeing her very adult work in Game of Thrones, like House of Dragons series in that first season, and then seeing the direction they want to go with Kara in this universe, where our first look at her, she's like, drunk as shit, laughing as her dog is like, on top of her, and Crypto's dragging her everywhere, and she calls Clark a
Drinking away the horrors
mm.
of
Yeah, so
her entire memory.
you get like a funny glimpse of Kara, but we know that there's
Uh-huh.
a lot of pain behind those
Yeah,
eyes.
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we see there's a lot of pain behind those eyes. There's a lot of, sadness there. And we know that it's going to be established in her film that she's going to be dealing with the repercussions of Krypton exploring, her experiencing that, then coming to Earth, and then all this stuff, and she's drinking her woes away. It's a cry for help, basically. I think Meg could have done it. I think she's that capable of an actor. I think she could have done a really good job. But I think she works so well in the bubble of a classic, quintessential Kara Zor-El that's hard to think of her as like a alcoholic, with emotional baggage and stuff like that. Like she plays the baggage off really well. She has that moment where she talks to Clark. Like you don't know what you're talking about. Like I remember this, I remember that, and all this stuff. And it's a really beautiful moment. But something about Millie Alcock, like knowing what she did in House of Dragon, I can't think of anybody else who could play the Kara we're gonna get in James Gunn's universe. And I wonder if that had something to play. Because honestly, they're so both perfect actors. I think they are really good at their craft. And I can't think of a reason not to go over one or the other than, hey, I've actually seen you play tortured, you get this, like, spoilers for House of Dragon. She gets like this lineage and this like big to do thrust upon her at such a young age. We're like, hey, I'm dying. I'm your dad. I actually know what our job is in the universe, that we're supposed to protect all of the land against these fucking snow zombies that are come at some point in our future. Don't know if it's yours. Don't know if it's mine. Don't know if it's our grandson. Like whoever's is going to have to deal with this, but we have to pass on that message. And how she deals with that and what she has to do for the family, I think that kind of got her the role. So what do you think Meg could have done a good job?
I think she could have done an excellent job.
Yeah.
I think she really encapsulates the range of Kara throughout this movie in a way that feels really genuine, and I think she would have done a great job in a live action. I do, however, love exploring the depth of Kara and that grittiness and that, that fire behind the eyes. I think she could do, but it would be a little bit of a stretch for her acting range. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think taking roles that make you stretch as an actor is a good thing. And I also believe like sticking within your strong suit is perfectly fine. And I think this is her strong suit. The way she can manipulate her voice to evoke all of these emotions and portray such a well-rounded Kara in an animated form is absolutely a skill, and she does an incredible job at it. And I think, again, she could do a live action Kara very easily, but I really like that we're doing the Woman of Tomorrow storyline in this upcoming DC universe, especially because we're starting on hope. Like, we started with a very light, hopeful, grounded human story. And to be able to dive into the complexities of what does it mean to be one of two surviving people? Like, what does it mean to be the last true child of Krypton is something that you do have to grapple with in a way that feels grounded and respectful of the space you're occupying. And I don't think we could have gotten as good of a Kara from a grittier story. I think we needed the hope in order to have her, emotional turmoil shine through. And I'm really excited to see what the Supergirl we did get is going to do with all of that.
Yeah, and I hate to like put Meg in that bubble that like I don't know if she could have done what Millie's gonna be able to do, or like what perceivably
and
we're
again,
gonna see.
I think she could have done it.
Yeah,
it would have been a
true.
stretch for her acting chops, but she would have been more than capable of portraying that role in live action.
Yeah, and I mean,
I totally believe that.
I'm previous episodes I've mentioned how much of a Supernatural fan I am. I have not watched the Winchesters because I thought it was too soon after, and I did not know the crux of what the series actually was until I got spoilers for the series finale at this point of that series. I'm like, Oh, this is actually really interesting what you guys were doing this season. I didn't. You guys should have hit this note early
You should
on.
have, yeah,
You gotta spoil
mentioned
this
that a little
early
bit more
because
in your press.
yeah, now I kind of want to go back and watch it with the context of what I know of the series finale. Uh, but so I don't know like how she plays Mary. I've seen very little like scenes with her as Mary Winchester, but that's a character that I would assume you could pull on from like this family lineage. This is your purpose in life. You have to do this. You have to abide by rules and stuff like that. And seeing Kara push against that, that's where I could see Meg doing a really good job. And I also want to shout out that like if I think if you get that far in a casting process in a major motion picture and you're taking on a major character, I think you should
At
really
that
pat
point,
yourself on
there's
the
no
back.
bad options.
No, honestly,
Yeah.
there really isn't between both of them. And I didn't know much of Meg's work until watching the zombie movies, and I was like, I got to like 2 or 3, and I'm like, they're very Disney-esque, like late aughts, like early 2010s and stuff like that. And I can see where they're doing
I
and
was
they're
gonna say
fun.
by that time we were like early to mid 2010.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, it would be early to mid 2010s. And seeing her work, and I'm like, I can see, and hearing the scuttlebutt of like her being like almost cast as Kara, I was like, I can see it. I can see it in what she's doing here. Like, obviously, there's a lot of singing names, but she has this like this adorableness, this bubbliness to her, and as that role as Addison. And I was like, I think she can play Kara. And then getting the confirmation that Millie Alcock was there, I was like, oh, and it was like, oh, the story is Woman of Tomorrow. I was like, I see what you're doing. I see where you're going. That's a perfect choice. But to get that far, I think that's really speaks to Meg's talent. Like that she did so well that a major motion picture company that's also trying to get everyone so perfectly right, and that's like James Gunn's job, that he is also recasting everyone from scratch too, for the most part, is like, hey, I like what Sasha did over here in the Flash movie, but like we're gonna pivot and we're gonna separate from that universe, and it's between you two. Like I think that's really good, and I think you should wear that as a badge of honor because also, look at who we have for almost Superman, Nicholas Hoult. All right, he's not Superman material, but guess what? He just played the shit out of Lex Luthor. He's probably the best live action Lex Luthor other than Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
When it comes to film, and he's up there with Michael Rosenbaum as the best interpretations of Lex in a live action media, whether it be TV or movie. So it's like, damn,
So good.
yeah. So like, that's not a bad. That's like, it's not an even consolation prize. You just played one of the most iconic characters, villains ever, and you did it to a perfection. And the guy you lost to just reinvented Superman for a whole new generation and absolutely knocked it out the park. So like, there might be a roll down the line for Meg.
The real winner here?
Yeah, exactly.
Both of them.
Exactly. And us for watching all them in interviews.
Yeah. Oh my God. The interviews. Lord help me.
Great. But just because Meg doesn't get this role doesn't mean like James saw something in her to get her that far. What if we get a Legion movie down the line? What if we get a Wonder Woman, because you can cast anyone since she's like immortal, right? And you cast her as Cassie, Wonder Girl, or Donna, Wonder Girl, and she could be that. She could be Donna Troy. She could be Cassie Sandsmark of the Teen Titans. Like you can cast these people.
Anybody in the Wonderland to be of Egyptian descent. I feel like that's a little bit more the vibe. But yeah, no, I would love to see her in like literally any role. You can give me her in anything and I'd buy it. Like I'm not the James Gunn fan of this show. However, I do like fully trust his casting decisions at this point.
Yeah, because honestly, he's when it comes to casting, the dude knows. Like he trusts whoever he got as his casting director for the DC universe is doing an amazing job. And
doing the Lord's work, truly.
Yeah, they really do it. Listen, we got a bisexual peacemaker. What? We got John Cena kissing dudes? Never in my life. You told Carlos in 2005, hey man, you know that guy you've been booing and you don't like? You're gonna like him as a wrestler when you understand more the complexities of professional wrestling. Also, he's gonna retire. You're gonna be really sad about it. But the same year, he's gonna be kissing dudes. Wait, what? Yeah, no. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
It'll
it.
be great. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. His dad's a Nazi, it's a lot. Just get ready. What? Yeah, I gotta go back. We have a family. We have a family.
Yeah.
um,
Time bubble out.
yeah, exactly. Time bubble. Yeah. Speaking of time bubbles, our last section here I want to talk about, and I don't know how much of
Mhm.
your history is with Legion. I was like, Legion,
Not much.
how does DC keep messing this up? And this is actually spurred upon, I want to say, our good friend Eric from we had on the show, Eric Slater. He had a thing on their Discord where they're talking about how DC constantly messes up the Legion. And every time they reboot the universe, they reboot the Legion with it because it kind of makes sense. They're the future, right? You have to if you're rebooting the
Whatever.
past,
Okay.
reboot
Yeah.
the future. It comes up so poorly every time. And we're at the levels with the Legion and like the complexities of their reboots and like what is canon, what is not canon, what's this part of the universe, what's not this universe, that it's as bad as Hawkman and Hawkgirl and their origins.
That's a tall
Like,
order.
yes, you have these beloved characters and truly beloved, like by hardcore DC fans, similar to Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and Legion, and they're constantly messed up by DC in some way, shape, or form. And I just don't understand how it keeps happening. Like,
I think it's because genuinely there's not enough diehard Legion fans in the room to make sure it
yeah,
goes well for once. And my thing with the Legion is like they've always been like sort of ancillary to most of the media I
yeah,
consume. They're kind of like they'll show up for an episode or whatever. They're there, cool, great, like nods to these more quote unquote obscure comic
yeah,
characters that people love to see. But I don't think any writer has really truly ground the Legion in a story that is an anchor point to iterate off of.
yeah.
And I think that is to their detriment. I genuinely believe if you have like one very passionate writer do like an 8 or 8 issue like mini series where they
Mm-hmm.
really dive into like who is the Legion, what does it mean to be a part of this team, what do they stand for, who are some like core founding
Yeah,
members, and like really gave us a strong anchor point for people to iterate off of, we would have way better interpretations of the Legion.
yeah.
But I feel like every Legion story is like, well, this one has like these good parts, and this one has
Mhm.
these good parts. But there's no like definitive, like, if you
No,
want to get into the Legion of Superheroes,
mhm.
read this series run,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. It seems like the consensus for so many people, and I would say by myself included, would be like the Great Darkness saga, and that's where like DC though everything they were doing was like at 1,000%. Like their premier team that was selling books was not the Justice League, it was the new Teen Titans. With Nightwing and Starfire and all that stuff. It was outselling X-Men and stuff like that. There was an X-Men crossover with the new Teen Titans. That's how popular the Teen Titans were at that time, in that iteration with Cyborg and all this other stuff. So like around that period is probably the best the Legion has ever been written. But like then people who love those stories get in the room and they're like, we want to reinterpret stuff. Or maybe it is DC's
Mhm.
mandate as well. Like I know a lot of people don't like the Brian Michael Bendis run when he was kind of running all the super books. It was okay,
Mhm.
but it's there's not consistency there with DC being like, hey, we're doing this. This is the established lore. We're moving on forward with this. And like we gotta hold on to something. And that's just DC's problem in general. Because when you look at,
Mhm.
again, not a Marvel podcast, you look at Marvel and they're like future characters, right? And there's so many different futures and
Uh-huh.
timelines and Marvel Universe, and they establish their multiverse really well. There's the everyone would probably know the year 2099 as in Spider-Man 2099. Miguel
Mhm.
O'Hara, he's very popular now because
Mhm.
of the Spider-Verse movies, played brilliantly by Oscar Isaac. But those books and how Marvel kind of plays with the sliding scale of events. Like Marvel stuff is
Mhm.
always like maybe 5, 10 years. like, or it slides, the timeline slides. So we've gotten Captain America who fought in World War II, but at the same time, just as last month, introduced a Captain America that fought in the Afghanistan war post 9/11. You know, and that's because of the sliding scale.
9/11 Captain America.
Yes, and which is crazy because again, we have that famous cover of Cap, you know, with his head down as like the powers go down and stuff. But like that sliding scale, now we know like time slides, and that was 25 years ago, or, you know, so that's how it works.
This is not a Marvel podcast, but I've been thinking on the discourse, capital D, around the internet about how we can't have an age appropriate Magneto who is a Holocaust survivor.
Yeah.
And honestly, at this point, I'm like, I don't care how the timeline works. It could be 2025 and we can have a 25-year-old Holocaust survivor. I'll buy into that. It's superheroes.
Listen,
like, why are you taking it so seriously?
Just do like you do in the X-Men in the comics and or cartoon. Just make his hair gray. He looks 30. His hair's gray. Oh, how do you survive this long? Why do you look younger than Charles? Oh, I don't know. I found some mutant that may be younger. Yeah, I don't fucking just make some mutant up. This is so easy. Why hire us? This is so easy to do. Hire us to write the Legion. I could probably write the Legion.
Yeah.
The thing is, whatever I write, DC, make it canon and keep it canon, or don't. I don't. You got to do one or the other, man. You can't keep messing with this. Again, Marvel has the sliding scale now. Comic book readers out there and stuff like that. That's about to change. It seems like 2099 universe might come to an end, and that possible timeline, it's going to be pushed forward because as of 2025, we're getting really close to 2099 and this possible future for the Marvel universe.
I don't believe you.
So I think the people at Marvel are like, wait a minute, we're getting really close to that. We should probably push that forward a little bit. So I think it's 3099 is going to be like the next like thing they're doing.
Yeah, that doesn't ring as well. I hate to be the naysayer.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And especially when you, again, not everything established from that universe is amazing, but when you establish one character that is absolutely amazing in Miguel O'Hara, it sticks. Everything else sticks around it, you know? But yeah, I feel like DC needs something like that. And I know Michael Bendis tried. He tried with so many little things, reestablishing Connor Kent, like trying to give a new identity to Tim Drake. You know, exposing Clark's identity to the whole public, so the whole world knew Clark was Superman, and it actually worked. It was really well done, and it was like beautiful moments that felt very much like he alluded to coming out, like so him coming to Perry, and it's just 3 panels, it's silent, and you just see him open his shirt, and you don't really see Clark's face. You see the S, and Perry comes up to him, puts his arm on him. Clark starts crying, and he hugs him, and it's beautiful. It's 3 panels, it's absolutely gorgeous. But again, that got taken over. That got like, hey, Brian Michael Bendis isn't right here anymore. How can we put this genie back in the bubble like some stupid ass comic book timey-wimey shit? Come on, man, stop.
I feel like Bendis had a lot of great ideas, and they weren't all executed well. No. But like he really showed up with the concept generator.
Yeah,
and I wish we would have let some of his shit stick.
Yeah, thank God for Miles Morales. Thank God for Miles Morales.
Listen, some of it didn't work and was not good, and we can let that die. But he had some gems in there.
Absolutely. All right, that's us complaining about the Legion and why DC keeps messing them up. This is, by the way, this is a really well done Legion, as I alluded to at the beginning of the episode. They did a really good job with setting up this Legion in this universe for the little that we get.
I had one problem with the Legion in this universe, and that was I simply could not care less about them. Like the trainees were incredible. I was invested. I was here. The Legionnaires themselves weren't doing it for me.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they come at like we get Timberwolf, Phantom Girl, and oh my God, who's the third one? Trying to think. Phantom Girl, Timberwolf, and was it Dawnstar? No, Dawnstar is she's even a lead. She's training. Shadowlass. There we go. So you get those 3 as like the elder statesmen, the ones who are training everyone, but we don't get.
And everybody else is lost on a ship
Yeah,
somewhere.
so you
Blah blah
don't even
blah
see
blah.
Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad, Lightning
Yeah.
Glass. You don't see
Mhm.
Karate. Was it Karate Kid? You don't see like Matter Eater Lad. You don't see like a bunch of like crazy ass teenage superheroes that are like awesome and strange. You just get like, hey, here's these trainees. And to be fair, the movie does a really good job of
The
focusing on
trainees are
them.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're amazing. They fit so well. The storyline with them and Kara and Brainiac and their prejudice toward Brainiac and Mon-El and like I think they played
Fuck
off.
that guy.
We're gonna get into it because I love how they played off like the heroic aspect of Mon-El and how we perceive Mon-El, and then to see him immediately go to no, I'm the bad guy. I'm like, oh, yeah, I think my note was like, you motherfucker.
See, my note was the first time I saw his face, I said, "Fuck you, Mon-El." And then 3 bullet points later, I said, "A fucking course, Mon-El in Stark Circle."
I went
Of course
capital
he's the
letters,
fucking villain.
all excited, Mon-El, to later being like, man, damn, Mon-El sounded mad racist right now. He's talking shit about Brainiac.
Yeah.
And then went to, God damn it, Mon-El. And then my final note about him was like, bitch ass Mon-El.
Bitch ass. 100%.
Oh my god, man. Yeah. That they really played with, at least with me, like that. Also, my one note about the elder statesman legionnaire that we get, Timberwolf. I'm like, why does Timberwolf look 55? Like, I've seen Timberwolf.
Ancient.
He did. Like, my image of Timberwolf, whether it be New 52 or like Bendis Run or like other stuff, is he just happens to have facial hair because he's like an older teenager. Like, he's maybe a young adult a lot of times. But he doesn't look like Hugh Jackman Wolverine.
20s.
He looks like Hugh Jackman Wolverine for some reason. And I'm like, yeah, you're objectively attractive, but you're not. You don't look like a kid. Like, why don't you look like a kid? This is weird to me.
Yeah, that's a full ass adult.
Oh my god, so bad. Before moving on, did you want to touch upon anything, any story points or anything?
Yeah. When we see Kara's whatchamacallit?
The time bubble?
Escape pod.
Oh, her escape pod, yes.
Yeah, in the opening credits, it crashes into like the middle of America. And I was like really curious to know if anybody anywhere has ever grappled with the probability of Cal and Kara both landing in America. Like, what was the axis of rotation that day? Like, the trajectory of their ships? Like, besides us all being, like, so America-pilled because rah, America or whatever bullshit, like, genuinely, why did both of them land in the same country?
Did Zor-El and Jor-El both do the calculations? And was like, I think
like,
if
Midwest.
Yeah. It's like, I'll get over here, you get over there. Like, all right, looks like Clark's going to Midvale and Kara's going to some place called Smallville. And it was like, oops. It's like a percentage off, and they just went the separate ways. Like, shit. We were so close. That was crazy, though.
Yeah.
We did pretty good with the algebra on that one.
I was very sad that we didn't really get to see her assimilation. She just like magically knew English and shit. Fine,
Yeah,
whatever.
which is crazy.
Right. Crazy, but that's fine. I was really concerned about the implication that Metropolis, a city in the like northeast, right?
Yeah,
very
Delaware.
cold winters. Why the fuck did they have wet barrel hydrants? They crashed in the hydrant and I went,
yeah.
And I was like, that's not how that works.
Yeah, city tomorrow, my ass.
That's how my brain works, unfortunately. I loved this bat suit.
Oh,
it's like one of my favorite looks. It was very good. Big
It looks
fan.
really good in the long Halloween, and then seeing it out of Gotham it looks even better somehow.
Uh-huh.
Like seeing in the bright
Yeah.
colors of Metropolis, like, ooh, that dark really pops.
At one point, I just said Chekhov's Brainiac head.
Yeah. I think I had a similar note because you do just like he assimilated all the other Brainiac clones and they
Uh-huh.
were all fighting for control.
And then the body horror at the end. Oof.
That shit was
Oof.
gross, man. I'm like, how is this movie not rated R?
Graphic.
Yeah. And I watch a lot of
It's
fucked up horror
aliens, I
movies. So I
guess.
was like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm. And then I was really concerned because they kept hyping up like the Lost Legionnaires or
Yeah.
whatever. I was really thinking that they would follow the conventional trope of a storytelling medium and like the adults would come back and like save the day or
Yeah.
whatever. And I was so thrilled that they let the kids win all on their own.
Yeah.
And then the
like,
adults showed up and they're like, we live.
yeah, we'll wrap up the stragglers. You guys did great, by the way. On spot, knowing that they saved the world. Like, you guys are all Legionnaires, by the way. No, fuck the test. You guys did amazing.
Love that for them.
Triplicate girl learning to deal with her trauma very
Love
quickly
her.
and be like, nah, I'm duplicate girl, I guess.
Also, arms fall off boy.
Yeah.
Maybe I just have a deep instant affection for redheaded characters with freckles or something, but like I was instantly like, that's my dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know in DC or what was it? I know it's boy in this, but isn't he oh no. There's a character similar. There's a similar character in James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie, played by Nathan Fillion, funny enough. The
Weird.
Destructible Kid, he called himself.
Fillion's getting around, I guess.
Yeah. When you're best friends with James Gunn, like, you got lucky, right? Like, he's like, I'm doing pretty good on my own. Yeah. I got Castle, you know, I came out of Firefly pretty unscathed. It was like,
best friend's fucking James Gunn.
You want to be Green Lantern?
Not fucking James Gunn. Is James Gunn. Is
Who knows?
What I meant.
Who's to say?
That's fine.
Who's to say?
Who's
yeah.
to say? Yeah, no. The kids I really enjoyed, all of them. They were fun.
Yeah.
What the bouncing boy?
Yeah, bouncing boy. Yeah.
He deserved more.
Yeah.
He was great. Every second he was on my screen, I was thrilled.
I loved him. I loved him so much. I thought he was another character who's similar in stature and stuff, called Matter Eater Lad. And I wrote in my notes, I was like, oh my God, is this Matter Eater Lad? Who's literally someone who can eat anything. Like, he eat through steel and stuff like that.
It's in the name.
Yeah. But they did such a good job. And I also love this little detail with them. And I think I wrote in my notes, but they're like, everybody in the Legion, doesn't matter how weird your power is, like whether it be, again, bouncing boy, triplicate girl, you know, cosmic boy, anything like that, they can throw hands, dude. Like, everyone knows how to fight. Yeah. And I was like, wow, you guys are like, on bases alone, you guys would have been a Batman sidekick.
Capable.
Already, you'd have been a Robin. Like, bouncing boy would have been a Robin, like, from jump, because he could throw hands. Like, that's it. He's like, you don't have parents? Come live in my mansion. It's not weird. Don't worry about it. It's not weird.
You can't just invite children into your mansion, Bruce.
I was thinking about our AO3 episode. Yeah, he's just like, I hope he doesn't adopt him. And then Dick's like, I'm sorry, I tried.
Exactly.
For me, I think I was a big fan of the opening credits, cutting out that exposition of like how she landed and stuff, like showing the journey a little bit. This is actually something I wanted to bring up to you, because to me, we talked about this in the Long Halloween. I feel like Jensen's direction as Batman in this was better. Yeah.
Much better. He had significantly less lines than this.
Yeah.
But it fit the tone a little better.
I can
Sorry, Jensen. We love you. Come on the show.
Dude, stop. I would cry. I would cry. The Supernatural convention, by the way, is coming to Philly, and I'm like debating it, but the tickets are super expensive to get photos.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my idea of a photo op between them would be them pointing at my chest, laughing at me as I show them the tattoo, embarrassed. That's literally, I've had this idea for a very long time, and I would mount that on my wall. like right there. That picture would be right there. But I was thinking that, you know, we talked about like, you know, a lot of us loving Jensen's work and knowing how good he did as Jason in Under the Red Hood. I was like, we came out disappointed in his performance in The Long Halloween. The movie itself we love, and you can check that episode out. But watching him here, and I
It's a
was like,
long one, but it's good.
it's worth it, yeah. But watching it in here, I was thinking about the context. I'm like, it's probably like COVID era when he's filming. I don't know what the direction was like voice director wise, but like I don't know, something about it like that, and actually the movie next week we'll talk about as well. I think like he found his stride in between those two performances, and I was like, oh, he's actually pretty decent. And I watched an interview with him with Michael Rosenbaum talking about like his process of like his Batman's ever so slightly pitched down, like his Bruce is ever so slightly pitched up, and how he does it. And he did Jason like for Michael Rosenbaum, and I was like, yeah, dude, I don't know why I don't like your performance in The Long Halloween. It's like something, maybe the recording was off, or the file didn't transfer correctly. I don't know what happened, man. But something about that, it's so much better moving forward in this. I mentioned this earlier, but I love the line of Kara's like kind of snapping at Clark. There's no way for, you know, for him to know what she's been through, what it was like for her, knowing, smelling, feeling what Krypton was, and to never ever see that or hear that or smell that again. You know, she knows what her mom smells like, you know, she knows how her mom feels when she hugs her. She knows like the warmth of the red sun on her skin. She does, like, Clark doesn't know that.
And Krypton will always be her home. She says that in this movie explicitly. Like, Earth will never be her first home. That's Krypton. She grew up there. She experienced 15 years of life there. That's a significant formational, that's not the word I'm looking, formative time of your childhood. And Clark will genuinely never know that. Earth is his home. He may not be from here, but he grew up here. He went through childhood here. He was raised by human parents. Like, everything about him is a Kryptonian growing up on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And everything about Kara is a Kryptonian who lost her home.
Yeah.
Who ended up on Earth.
Yeah, when you talk about like refugees, like she truly is a refugee, right?
She is the refugee.
Yeah.
Like he is a refugee in his own sort of way. But he was a baby. He got to grow up. He got to assimilate. He got to learn his powers as he was growing up and not all at once. Like it was gradual for him. And she doesn't get that luxury because she's so much older when she wakes up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she has a guiding, you know, he has a guiding light of the Kents, and he, as you mentioned, slow progress, you know, as he's going through adolescence and finding out his powers little by little. She is already mature of age to the extent that she should have her powers, gets bombarded with yellow sun radiation, and then gets hit with everything all at once. I can't, we don't see it, but like every iteration that we see her land as older, like teenager or a young teenager, like the sensory overload of her super hearing and her heat vision and everything happening all at once is like overwhelming. The fact that she didn't go crazy, you know, with almost hearing everyone on the earth at one time, you know, like is insane to me. It shows how like resilient she is. I did love that line. I did wanted to bring this up. I was like, I feel like it's highly inappropriate for Clark just to have a time bubble on his belt at any given time. Like, I know it's Superman, I know it's Clark and all, but like, it just seems so wrong for him to have that. Like,
yeah, what's he doing with that?
Yeah, why do you just have it on you? Like, it should be at the fortress. You got to go get it and then bring it. Not just like, hey, I got this thing on me at all times. Like, you could, if someone takes that from you, they could just time travel. That is horribly.
And yeah, sure, between 2 fixed points, whatever.
Yeah,
I call BS.
That's how you get a booster goal. Okay, that's how you get a booster goal. He's from that time period.
Your fucking nemesis booster gold.
Yeah,
It's all your fault.
does he does he eventually redeem himself? Yes, but if you get early booster growth, he's a dick. We don't need that. Okay, we don't need that in this time period. This time period already has enough shit. I did mention, I was like, wow, Brainiac survived like Thawne did in the previous universe, which is, I was like, does Brainiac know? Because he hints at like the upcoming crisis that will feature on this episode at the end of the season, but like he kind of alludes that he knows something's on the horizon for the like the multiverse, and he's like, do you know what Thawne did? And was like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll move my brain somewhere else. So I could take this bullet to the head.
Yeah. Fucking Thawne. What a hater.
Ass. Yeah, truly, man. Also, what a crazy deep rooted DC concept to include in this movie in the Miracle Machine. That is so niche, so utterly and unfathomably niche. Like, I saw it, heard it, I was like, the fucking Miracle Machine? Like, it makes sense as a MacGuffin.
I don't think it works for people who don't know what that is. Because if you just watch this movie, you're like, the fuck is this machine?
Yeah.
Everybody's so worried about it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of there. And you're right, it is a MacGuffin in this film. But like the emotional stakes of it are completely lost on you if you've never heard of this before.
Yeah, like knowing like it's DC history and like how it's used sparingly, but like it's most notably known for Final Crisis, where like Darkseid has taken up all of like reality over at that point, and Clark uses it to like help defeat Darkseid. And it's like the start of like what would then lead to the New 52 storyline, and that's why we get Bruce getting time displaced and possibly dying, and then the fight for the cow and all that shit. But like seeing it, I was like, whoa, what the fuck is the Miracle Machine doing here? I was like, and then you think about what Brainiac's trying to do. It's like, yeah, I guess that's the best MacGuffin to use for this movie. But it was like weird.
It fits thematically. It was just a weird choice.
Yeah. And then it's used really well. Like by Brainiac and all. Like, let's just move him away. Like everyone here in this universe would just move the threat somewhere else. Like, or yeah, I guess that kind of works.
Right. If it works.
And oh yeah, one funny little thing I want to touch upon, and then I'll say it right now. I want to shout out everyone in this movie. Again, everyone did like 110% in their roles. They did amazing. But one of my favorite things is seeing Brainiac go from, again, 12th level into like always bragging about it, very stoic, to then just complete nerd.
Autism coded.
Yeah, so much so. He really was. And like seeing him be nervous around Kara, tell her he likes her, like that relationship building.
When Kara tricks him into getting on the video time call or whatever with Clark.
And that's what I'm saying. How nervous he is talking to Superman. He's stumbling over his own words. Like he's like seeing a living legend in front of him, and like you don't really see that a lot with Clark in certain iterations, and seeing it here, and Superman be like, I gotta. Obviously, we know now what it is, but like. He's like, I got stuff to do, guys. I'm sorry, but hey, and he's so nervous on so many different aspects. Like, oh my god, I'm talking to Superman. He's the greatest hero of all time. Oh my god, Batman's right there.
Also, it's my girlfriend's cousin.
It's my girlfriend's cousin.
Like parental figure.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to piss him off at the same time. Like this is all weird for Brainiac 5, and he handles it as well as he could, in the situation. But that is our notes on the film. We're gonna move over to drama class. We got two little scenes right here, just little blurbs. Again, this is a holdover from MC University. We're gonna start with this very simple one. It's Supergirl, and I'll do this one, and then we can move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Supergirl. It's just the only line I can find on IMDb, so I threw it in here. It's up to us, so let's go be heroes. Very vanilla, generic.
Tell him, Kara.
Yeah, you put a better one. And do you want to be Duplicate Girl or Kara in this?
Hell yeah, I want to be Duplicate Girl.
Hell yeah, okay. All right, I'll start with Kara. What happened to her waitlist material?
Oh, screw that. I'm pissed. Now we're ass kicking material. Sorry, kicking ass material.
And she grabs the gun from the circle.
Locked and loaded.
Like, you killed one of my clones, I'm killing you, bro.
Dope.
It is.
Like, I don't know what they were using, like the crystal to charge it, but it did kind of look like red kryptonite.
It did, yeah. And at least it was concussive enough to like hit Kara and kind of hurt. So like there was some force behind it, yeah.
Who knows?
All right, moving on to homeroom. Sly, what are your final thoughts on 2023's? No, it's fine. We'll both die. 2023's Legion of Superheroes. What do you think?
My final thoughts are: it's past my bedtime. This was delightful. I highly recommend. I don't think you have to watch anything before and or after this. But I had a great time with this movie. It was great. Yeah, just throw it on, grab a drink, alcoholic beverage if that's your vibe, hang out, enjoy this. It's a fun romp. That's the best word I have to describe it. It's just genuinely a silly, goofy, fun time.
Yeah, it really is. I enjoyed. I think that the shining point of this is the performances. And it's funny because last week we had a good like 1, 2, 3 punch so far in this universe, like post Man of Tomorrow, which is like we're very like about, but like getting the longest I'm sorry, you want to say the longest yard for some reason. The Long Halloween, that adaptation done really well over 2 movies, and like if you get the deluxe editions, like 1 giant movie. Seeing this world established that way, the performances we got there, then moving on to Green Lantern, and like our only, I would say, thinking back on that episode, our only concerns were like, hey, you just fast forward this universe way too fast to where we were last time. So like, what is going on? But other than that, a really good Green Lantern story. Some things turn on its head with like Hal Jordan and Sinestro and things like that. Really good performances from Green Arrow and Jon Stewart and Hawkgirl and all this other stuff. And then to get this movie, it's like, man, this is a fun movie. I was smiling ear to ear like the whole time I was watching this film. Meg Donnelly again does an incredible performance, and as we discussed earlier, I think she could have and has the chops to become the live action Supergirl, even though we have Amelia Alcock. So I could see how she got so far in that casting process. She's great in this. Harry Shum is amazing as Brainiac. You're right. I think in hindsight, my only concern is the fact that we don't get the whole legion of superheroes. Probably we don't get a Cosmic Boy. We don't get Lightning Lad and Lightning Lass and Saturn Girl, like the main like components of what make the Legion. But I would
see more Saturn Girl.
Saturn Girl's so cool, man.
So fucking cool.
But I think you could just watch this movie, like you said, so just throw it on, enjoy yourself. Is it streaming anywhere? Well, hopefully one day it will. If not, there's websites.
Yeah, it's fine.
Seek it out. I suggest you seek it out. It's fun, and then
100%.
Yeah, of course, and then you can support your local library
and
get Legion.
Google the history of the Miracle Machine before you watch this.
Yeah, just read Final Crisis.
I would recommend that.
Read Final Crisis.
There you go. Yeah.
The art's pretty decent in that. The story's a little weird, but you get there at the end. All right, so that's our final thoughts. Again, we both highly recommend this movie. I think it's a fun time. It's just short. It's hour and a half. Tight 90. Doesn't do anything crazy with your time. It has a Easter egg at the end, which is whatever. I mean, it's fun in the beginning, and then
it was fun.
Yeah, it was. So it's good. But now we're gonna move on to homework. Homework next week for everyone is Justice League War World. That's all. I'll keep it. Let's keep it there.
Are you looking forward to that one, Carlos?
I am really looking forward to talking about it. I wish I didn't watch it. Fun fact though,
we'll get there.
Legion of Superheroes not on Max. This fucking movie for some reason, Justice League War World on Max.
On Max. Why?
Okay.
Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you either.
All right.
Yeah, but that's our episode. Sly, where can people find you?
You can find me on Storygraph at Slyclone. You can find me on the Blueski at Slyclone blah 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 whatever. Where you can see my third 4th annual attempt of doing a thread of posting every single outfit I wear during PAX. I have never once been successful, but this year I got the closest.
It's very true. You did get very close to that.
I change at least 2, if not 3 times a day during PAX, unfortunately. Anyways, that's not the point of this. Where else can you find me? You could find me fighting with people on threads, if that's your vibe.
You love seeing violence? Go to Threads.
Yeah. I've been really embracing the like imagining it's like 2011 Twitter kind of vibe on Threads.
Okay.
That's what I'm personally embodying. You know, preteen to early teen me with unrestricted access to the internet, fighting with strangers on the internet. Like, that's the energy I'm bringing to my Threads presence.
Yeah, very fair. Very fair. Alrighty, for me, you can find me here, youtube.com/pointofprogress, where we have this show, DC Graduates. I have actually filmed an episode of the next season of It's Not a Loop, so that will be coming down the line as I film a couple more episodes in the game before I publish them. Season 3 is It's Not a Loop, It's Control. Already digging that game 45 minutes into the, but we'll talk about it when you watch those episodes. As well, you can find me on youtube.com/nerdtoday. I did forget real quick though, if you are watching this, go to your favorite audio platform, like, share, subscribe. If you're listening, go to youtube.com/pointofprogress, like, share, subscribe. Helps everyone, helps the algorithm and the almighty algorithm, whatever, doesn't matter. And you know what's a fun video to watch?
Slaves to the algorithm. It's fine.
Not us. No, we don't give a fuck about the algorithm. We'll put whatever on Point of Progress. That's why we only have 580 people as our subscribers. We said fuck the algorithm. But if you want a fun video to watch on there, you can check out Frank as he Foxhound ranks Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Oh yeah.
I had it on in the background as I was just like working after you posted it. And I was watching it and I got enthralled. Like, I played this game. I haven't played Delta. I played Metal Gear Solid 3 back in the day. I'm gonna be playing Delta soon after I play Control. And watching him play, I was like, Frank is a monster. Like, there is like,
watching him play video games reminds me, I don't actually want to play video games. I just want to watch Frank play video games.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's so impressive to see him watch. And then like when he mentioned buys a game, mind you, full disclosure, we're in like a family account, me, him, Mario, and like 2 other people. So like he tells me and Mario are excited because we're broke as shit. And we're like, oh my God, you bought this. We love you. We send him like funny memes. And then goes, I'm probably going to beat this in the week. Then whatever is one of you guys can play because of the family sharing, like only one play at a time. And I watch throughout the week as he goes through like one run and then texts our group chat. Oh, hey, I beat it. I did this. I think I'm going to go for Foxhound and record it. I was like, okay. The full Foxhound thing, by the way, is like 2 hours and 45 minutes. We've done episodes with DC Graduates that are
43.
Yeah. So like we've done episodes of just us bullshitting about DC movies that are that long. You can watch a whole fucking video game. That's how good Frank is. Insane.
He's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Just like the way his brain works is unparalleled.
He's playing on mouse and keyboard, and my brain doesn't work that way with mouse and keyboard. I have a controller here, an 8-bit controller, and I was like, I don't understand how he's moving so fast and Snake's here, there. Like, he truly is Snake. He is Naked Snake in this moment. He's Big Boss. He's like literally running through the thing. No one dies. I think he only killed like a few people because he had to, because it was a story mission. But that's it.
Oh my God. There's a video from PAX I have to put in the Pip Discord. Remind me after this. But yeah, no, Frank is like genuinely one of the like coolest humans that I have the honor of knowing, and getting to see all of the content he does for Pip is like the best thing, because like we do content meetings, right? We occasionally talk about what's going up. Not Frank. Frank will just be like, hey, I made this badass, incredible, like really coolly edited video. I'm just throwing it up. And we're all like, cool. Great. Love that for you.
Yeah.
And then you watch it and it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So please show that video some love. That I'm telling you, you're gonna be enthralled watching him play, and you might get dizzy because how fast he fucking moves in that game is insane. But yeah, that is it for this episode. Till next time, class is dismissed.
Bye.